Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about some pirate software. Now, I'll be real with you. I've been watching the situation develop, right? Um, but not really made a video on it because I wanted to see how things concluded and how things are going. Damn, they're going pretty bad. I think it's a good time for me to jump on now. From him shit talking, stop killing games to him just going full mask off. You know what? It's been a long time since I've seen an up and coming YouTuber or streamer lose quite a bit of subscriber. I think it's been, I'm trying to think the last person that went through this process. Not, it was, I think it was like a year ago. There was a YouTuber who was up and coming. He was a big streamer. I'm trying to think. I know there was like a year ago and just complete, like, I mean, they're not irrelevant anymore. I mean, they're still relevant, but they had a big major backlash, so it's insane that this is going on, right? Pirate Software has no plan to apologize after the backlash from disapproval of Stop Killing Game. Simply bend the knees and lie about how you feel. Everybody will stop bullying you. That's a great idea, dude. I mean, you know what? Say what you must about him. The fact that he's still holding his ground, though he's quote unquote being this cry bully, gotta give him props for that. The came after viewers suggested he makes an apology video to stop the backlash, which has caused him to lose over 100,000 YouTuber subscribers. Now, subscribers come and go. At least when you're a channel. Yes, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, should he apologize? And I just realized that crops is pretty bad. You gotta just, I guess I'll live with it. I mean, on one hand, the situation is pretty bad. On the other hand, maybe kind of apologizing or at least taking the L is kind of important because you're just gonna make yourself look bad. But at the same time, still standing your position no matter what, you gotta give the guy props. Whether you think he's right or wrong is one thing, but for him to keep standing, even if he loses 100,000 subscriber, I mean, there's been people who will lose 10,000 subscriber and they'll bend to the knee. So you gotta at least give him prop in the end of the day for that, and you could say that's respectable. I mean, I don't like his attitude and his whole thing about how preservation of gaming is kind of pointless, and how kind of a corporal person, you know. Well, let's read the article anyway. Streamer Pirate Software bit a back at a viewer who suggested he should make an apology video over ongoing, controversy, including being against the Stop Killing Gaming movement. Which again, it's a movement. It's a deal with preservation of gaming, which I do support, but I also come to realize that one of the important things when it's coming with the world and dealing with the world is that you can do your best to preserve something, right? You can have the best technology to preserve something, but ultimately it will still succumb to the degrading of nature. Though it is human to try to keep something conserved, it is very human. You do have to come to realize that eventually, unless you have people who are competent enough in both keeping the original copy alive or making a one-to-one exact replication or duplication of it, it is also very important and something that I think needs to be talked about more. Um, Especially if you want to keep the original data, the original information alive. And in gaming, we have seen games. One of the main reasons, like Kingdom Hearts, is a good example of a game that the original source code it's completely gone, and they had to remake. From what I remember, the reason why um, they re-released Kingdom Hearts, I mean, obviously that, and I mean those games are old and they kind of do deserve a bit of an upgrade. Was mostly because they just did not have the original code, and so they basically went in and just rebuilt all the games. There are actually a few games out there. I believe Panzer Dragoon is a good example of a game where they just don't have the source code anymore. It's completely lost. And I mean, like, and I'm not against Stop Killing Game. I'm not against anything like that, especially preserving games. And obviously, there's also the question about companies and how it's important for them. I mean, we do have governments, right, kind of sort of preserving game, but not to the extent that people want. right? So they had also there has been plenty of support of the movement with big name like PewDiePie, Asmongo, Jack Spike Eyes. Hope I said it name wrong, putting their name to the petition. There has also been a few critics as well. Software has been the most vocal of those against the movement. The game developer and Twitch streamer stated that it was too vague in his aim. He stopped working with Ludwig off-brand gaming studio at the rival of 832 with review bomb over his stance. Yeah, a lot of his gaming got blown to oblivion. Even if the game itself is good, those review bombs are enough to basically destroy a game to the average consumer. But there's something you'd be surprised how that impacts a lot of things. Pirate Software won't make an apology video. He has addressed some of his controversy around him, but has no plan to apologize, even if some viewers believe that it will stop some of the unhinged behavior against him. I mean, it would at least like a good majority, like not a good majority, but a lot of people would stop giving him shit, but they would still be critical about just his general behavior. In a way, it's maybe better for him to not apologize and keep at it, because if he makes an apology, it's not going to be a real apology. It's only going to be half, right? It's only going to please to get the lower or the common denominator in some regards. Putting up a video saying you were wrong with every situation and it would move on. Am I not doing that? Hell said, I don't give a blank. Yeah, simply bend the knee and lie about how you feel and everybody will stop bullying you. That's a great idea, dude. Yeah, no, eat it. Or eat, So let's want to.
Put up a video saying you were wrong with every situation and the internet move on. I am not doing that. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, you can't deny that there is a level of smugness behind it, but I know a lot of people gave him a lot of shit due to his connection with Blizzard, due to his other connections as well. Some people even call him a Nepo baby, which I can kind of believe. I can also kind of believe if he got his position in Blizzard through his father, which is probably much sure, right? The streamer has been swatted over his take and had tens of thousands of you know calling the behavior towards him and his moderate team unhinged. I mean, you can't excuse that. Like, you can, he has also lost more than 100,000 YouTuber subscribers in the last few weeks as viewers have turned their back on him. Stop Killing Game has surpassed its goal of hitting 1 million signatures, but there is no word if the European Commission will pass to ensure that online games are preserved. The answer to your question, from what I've seen when it's coming to the European Union and the European Commission, and since the European Commission probably run by a bunch of Germans and Dutch and all that, it's going to be bureaucratic work at the bureaucratic work. So even if it does get passed, it probably won't get passed until like another 5 to 10 years. So even if it goes through and if they give the approval and everything, they're not even, I mean, it probably would still get passed, but don't expect it to be something right off the bat. And ultimately, in my honest opinion, is here's how I see it. And as I was looking at the situation, he got dogged on a lot, and rightfully so, just because of the way he acts and just his mannerism. He does have a level of smugness to him that's come off as a little, dude, like, pull it back. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. On the other hand, I do think that a lot of people were going. I mean, I think they were going at him hard, just right enough, where it was enough to make him realize, or at least hopefully realize, hey, maybe this kind of stuff is important. Because I do remember, if somebody could correct me, that he did make an offhand comment about how it's not worth preserving games or anything like that, which is like that's a hot take. And as I said before, preserving games isn't necessarily wrong. It is very human to preserve, to conserve. It is in our blood, it's in our genetics. But you also kind of have to come to terms that you can have the best preserved technology or whatever, but ultimately it comes down to a human thing. And though I do agree with preserving video games as somebody who's a big fan of video games, and I understand that there are just games that just never will ever be preserved or completely lost. I also come to realize that humans are also pretty bad at preserving things, but I mean, it doesn't mean you should simply just dog on it and constantly go at it and start berating people. On the other hand, yeah, you can disagree with somebody and think they're wrong and discuss about it, and maybe a little bit of trolling. At the same time, if you're just going to the level of sending, stuff like that, I mean, it doesn't really matter because he already made himself look like a villain, and truthfully, I can see that too. And I'm not, even I know, yeah, like the way you've been acting, dude, you kind of deserve it. Deserve it. Sorry, guys. I didn't pronunciate my word or enunciate my word, so I do apologize because I know a lot of y'all are gonna be new coming to the channel and be like, "You're not pronouncing or enunciating your damn word, dude. Fuck off." Not just whatever, just usual stuff. But in the end, you gotta roll with the punches. So I'm not gonna enunciate my words anymore. You need to accept that this is a no pronounce or announcing zone. All right. Okay, I'm joking. But till next time, ladies and gentlemen, God bless.